Good morning, everyone. My name is Julie. I am the owner and founder of Lady Poltai. You're either watching this on my Facebook page or my YouTube channel. So thank you and welcome. Would appreciate a thumbs up, a subscribe, a follow, depending on where you are, and sharing. If you find this video helpful in any way, give me a thumbs up and certainly share it to someone or tag someone that you think might enjoy it as well. So today we're here to talk about the Clairs, and I did originally plan on doing 8 videos, one for each Clair, and you can certainly go back and watch all of those if that's something that interests you. And during those videos, each one we covered a Clair. We covered what it kind of was, what to expect from it, signs that may be something that you are experiencing. And then we talked about herbs and oils and crystals you could use if you had that particular Clair. But then when I was getting towards doing the last video, I kind of felt like this doesn't really seem like it feels like it's complete to me. I feel like I've left something important out. And then it kind of came to me that I never really talked about ways for you to practice. So we covered herbs and oils and stones to work with, but we never really, and signs of what, if you are experiencing this, it may be this Clair. If you're experiencing this, it may be this Clair, and things like that. But I never really talked about ways to practice if you want to do that. And I'm assuming if you're watching my videos that it's probably something you're interested in and something that you want to work with or practice. So I have a list here of things that I wanted to go over on different ways that you can practice these different Clairs. And the practice isn't really related to one particular Clair or the other, but there'll be a few that you're like, well, that doesn't really work for what I have. But it's just a list of all of the ways you can practice kind of all of the Clairs, and they're not really in any particular order. But if you need more clarification, or if you're not sure if that's something you would use for your particular Clair, you can always just comment below or private message me, whichever is fine. All right, so I'm gonna actually just smudge here a little teeny bit. I'm gonna just pull a leaf off here. Actually, I think I got 3 leaves. I do not need 3 leaves. Put 2 of them down. Some for you, some for me. Sometimes it's just good to just get that all. All right, so I'm going to put that in our little cup bowl thing and let that burn. And I will put those right there because I can use them for another video. All right, so we are going to talk about ways to practice. And, like I said, not all of them are going to resonate with you. Not all of them may be particular to your Clair. I didn't categorize them in any particular way or make a list for each one. I just kind of lumped them all together. And if, goodness gracious, I guess I really did need some smudging this morning. I guess that was my sign that I needed a little extra smudge. So yeah, as I go through them, I'm not gonna, I have a list of 28 and then actually 29 because I thought of another one after I made the list. But yeah, I can't really go too much into them, but I'll go into them a little bit. And I don't think they need a whole lot of explanation either. So, but anyway, number one is just meditate daily. And, you know, I've told you guys right off the bat that, well, not right off the bat, but up front that meditating is really not very helpful for me. It's actually more stressful for me. Um, so if you are one of those people who are having a really hard time meditating, um, I recommend trying some keening or some chanting or some sort of just kind of dancing to get you in a place where then you can meditate. So it may take a little while. You know, for me, I tried meditating many times, and it just really stressed me out because my mind is just all over the place. And so sometimes just doing a little keening or a little chanting or just kind of dance around a little bit and kind of get out of that headspace and then try meditating. So you can meditate. That's a really good way. Just kind of coming into center, coming into balance, all of that goes along with meditating. Getting to know your guides. And I actually, as I was writing this list, I was like, well, maybe first you might want to ask to meet your guides. um, so if you don't know who your guides are, you can certainly ask to meet them. Ask them to come to you. Ask them to step forward. Ask them to present themselves to you. However, you know, you feel comfortable wording it, or just make themselves known. And, you know, for me, I have a couple of different ways that I know who's here, but mostly it's just I just know um, who's here. Um, and I don't, you know, they just make themselves known to me, and I don't really know how that works, but they just do. I just tend to know generally who's here with me, but not always, but generally I do. So ask to meet your guides, and then get to know your guides. So that's kind of like a two-step there. If you already know who your guides are, then you know you don't really need to do that. But you may have guides out there that you're not aware of. You know, that's always a possibility. Um, Practice psychometry, and I probably am not saying that correctly. It's Psychometry. I did put a little like meme thing in the event page of what that is, and basically that is picking up objects and you know, holding it and seeing if you're picking up anything with that, which kind of goes to another one that I have on my list. They're kind of all over the place here. Sorry, I just wrote them down as I was thinking about them. Is, you know, to practice psychometry, I mean, a good thing to do would be to go to like an old antique store or consignment store and pick up things and see if you're getting anything. If you're, and again, you can go back to the list I had of, let me go back here real quick, see if I can find it. So much stuff we've done right here. So in the example I used back in one of the other videos was if you picked up an old mirror and if you see in your mind's eye an old woman, then that's clairvoyance. If you know she's sad, then that's claircognizance. If you feel she's sad, then that's clair empathy. And if you can kind of smell like the room or her perfume or something like that, that's clair scent. So you can go to like an antique store or consignment store and pick up objects and hold them and see what you're experiencing and what's coming through for you. You can use some Zener cards and see if that's helpful for you. And again, I put a picture of those in the event page. The Zener cards are, you've probably all seen them on movies, on TV, where the person's holding up a card that's got like a square, a circle, a triangle, or wavy lines. I think there's a star. And and the person has to, tell them what card they're holding up. So you can practice with some Zener cards and see if maybe that's something that is working for you. You can practice just visualizations, and there are tons of great, guided visualizations out there. I've been meaning to do one for a while, and I haven't done one, so maybe that will be next on my list of doing a good visualization video for you. So we'll maybe see how that goes. But there are a bunch out there of guided visual. They're probably called guided journeys or a guided meditation, but they're visualizations. So one of the ones that I use when I'm getting very negative feeling is I close my eyes and I visualize, with my feet on the floor, on the ground, pulling up, pure white energy from the earth, from Mother Gaia, and having it fill me up. And as it's doing that, I visualize it pushing out, and it comes out my hands. I usually have in the visualization, I have my hands like out to my sides, and this black, icky, gooey, sticky, like tar stuff kind of comes off my hands and my fingers and back down to the earth. So as the pure energy, the pure light, the happy, good stuff is filling me up, I visualize it pushing out all the yucky, icky, sticky stuff that I don't want, and giving it back to Gaia for her to recycle for my next visualization. So that's a quick, easy one you can do. I like that one because, it doesn't take a whole long time, and I actually sometimes just do it sitting at my desk. I'm like, okay, I'm getting in that space I don't want to be in, and I'll do that quick, visualization of just filling up with, pure white light energy and getting rid of all the icky, sticky stuff that you don't want. You could take a walk out in nature. And one of the things I want to say about taking a walk out in nature is that doesn't mean like speed walking through a park. Take some time with your walk. Try to kind of connect with nature. Even stop for a few minutes at a particular plant or tree, and maybe touch a tree, and just kind of take your time with it, and don't like just run through the park and say, okay, I went out in nature. Do it with a little bit more of an intention. There's also lots of psychic development books out there that you can purchase if you really want to dive more into. I was going to show you the book I was using, but I actually put it away back on the shelf. But I will get a link for that and put it in the comments of this video for you. You can try some automatic writing, and that's just when you get a book or a paper or whatever, and you just write, and you don't worry about if it's a run-on sentence, and you don't worry about capitalization, and you don't worry about punctuation, you don't worry about grammar. You just write whatever is coming to you. And some people write it all, down the line. Some people write all over the page in different ways. Some people will write and then draw little doodles. So just whatever is coming to you, you just kind of put it all down, and and let just whatever's coming through you flow through you. And that's a really good way of, it doesn't necessarily need to make a whole lot of sense, and you don't necessarily have to go back and try to make sense of it. But it's a good way to just let your intuition, just whatever's coming through you flow through you, and just write it all down. Again, I already said visit an antique store. Make a book of tarot meanings. So I've seen people do this, where they take a tarot deck, and or you can use an oracle deck, and instead of using the book that comes with them, usually just kind of make your own, like look at the card And you can use the book to kind of get you started, and then kind of go with your own, like, what does this card mean, and what am I getting off this card, and just go through the deck and kind of practice that way. Um, the book doesn't necessarily have to be something that you're going to go back to and use for readings or anything like that. It's just a good way to, again, just kind of let whatever is coming through come through. Whatever, when you look at a card, whatever you're feeling, seeing, smelling, sensing, whatever it is, just, write it down. So go through the tarot deck and, just practice that way. You don't have to do it all in one setting. You could do a card a day. You could do a couple cards a day. It doesn't have to be like you don't have to sit down and do the whole deck in a day. You can space it out however you want. Again, it's just to practice letting whatever is going to come through for you come through. This one's a hard one for me. I've never got this, but other people can certainly do it, is practice seeing auras. And I don't have a lot of tips on that or advice on that because I don't have any personal experience with that. But that's something you can certainly dig into and go down that rabbit hole. You can certainly read a lot of blogs. There are a bazillion between blogs and vlogs out there right now. There's more information out there than you could ever even try to, read or gather or understand. But, like again, I said, I'm here to share and, share what I'm learning with you guys. But I've always told you guys too, like, don't learn from just one person. I think you should learn from a couple people. But on the other hand too, I don't think you should learn from too many people because you're going to get too much conflicting information. Try to find like just 2 or 3 people that you really resonate with, that you really feel connected with. And if it's not me, that's perfectly fine. If this video helps you go find somebody that you do resonate with, then I consider this a successful video. So, find a couple of people that really do kind of resonate with you, that you connect with, and learn from them. And it'll change over time. The first few people that I was following and getting a lot of information from when I first started learning are not the people that I learn from anymore. And it's not because I don't agree with them or I don't like them. It's because I've learned what I've needed to learn from them, and now I've kind of moved on to more specific, like more of things that I want to connect with. So the people I started out with were kind of very broad or very general or one specific thing, and I've now moved on to different things to learn. So it's not that I don't think they were good or I didn't like them. It was just that, sometimes you've learned what you're going to learn and you need to move on. But I hope that I keep my videos different and I try not to repeat videos. I try not to do the same things. If we're talking about the same holidays, I try to do a different kind of craft or tie in some astrology to make each video a little different for you so that they're not all the same. But anyway, you could practice seeing auras. And again, like I said, that's not something that I've ever experienced. So I don't really have a lot of advice to give on that. But again, you can, oh, sorry, I was actually on the next one, read blogs. So go read a blog about seeing auras. Listen to sounds. Again, listen to what's actually around you. In our days, it's very hard. Most of us lead very busy lives. We're around lots of people. We're around lots of sounds. Same with smells and visualizations and all those things. But just kind of try to pay attention to little things that come to you. And I've talked about that in the videos. If you're somewhere and like a smell comes to you or a sound comes to you that doesn't seem to have any place, it doesn't really fit, then, pay attention to that. See what you're feeling. see what's coming to you. Maybe keep a journal of what's going on throughout your day. Maybe you smelled something at one point that wasn't there. I've had times at work where I've smelled chocolate and there's nobody in the office eating chocolate, things like that. And you can just kind of keep a notebook maybe of what's going on and what you're sensing and what you're smelling, seeing, tasting was one of them, or what's coming to you. And keep a book and see if there's any kind of pattern or something that's triggering it for you, or if it's coming at a certain time of day, or if it's coming when you're a certain state of mind, whatever that pattern may be for you. Give practice readings, and again, whatever that is for you. If it's oracle cards, if it's tarot cards, if it's some sort of scrying, if it's touching them, just practice with friends, family, and see what comes. Practice reading your pets. That's always a fun one to do too. Again, just kind of spend some time with your pet. Put your hands on them. See if you can sense emotions, if you can sense any kind of pain or joy, anything that is coming off them. See, practice that. Journal. Again, so I just kind of talked about keeping a journal of what's going on throughout your day as you pick up on things, but you could just keep a journal in general, just a daily journal of what's going on in your life. And again, it's kind of incorporating again that just that free writing, that guided writing of just kind of let go whatever's coming through for you for your day. Look at old family pictures and see if you're picking up anything from that. Again, it's the same as the example I used for the mirror, same as picking up objects at an antique store. Pick it up, hold it, close your eyes if you need to. See if you're sensing anything, if you're smelling anything, if you're tasting anything, if you're hearing anything, and again, maybe keep this in a journal and see what's coming through for you. This one is kind of a fun one too, is sit and kind of get in a nice state and sit there and kind of telepathically tell a friend to call you, and see if it happens. I've had this where, and it could be totally coincidence, but I've had times where even in traffic, I'm like, oh, turn here, turn here, turn here, turn here, turn here, because they're slow and they're aggravating me, and I'm like, turn here, turn here, turn here, turn here, and then they'll turn and I'm like, yes, they turned. It's probably totally coincidence, but just kind of practice things like that, to see, practice thinking about having your friend call you or text you, and see if they do text you or do call you. So that's kind of a fun one to do. Join a sister circle is another one, and I did start a group where we were doing, we did a circle, we did it on Mabon, and then COVID came and kind of put all that on hold, so we only did the one time, and we never really got to get together again, but I'm hoping at some point we will be able to go back and meet during the 8 holidays, the wheel of the year. And so you can join a sister circle. And right now you can join all kinds of Facebook groups as well, that are people that will guide you and support you. Just be aware, there are some groups out there that are not very well maintained. I got invited to a group last week, and I was like, sure, I'll join. And I won't say the name of the group, but I was in there less than 24 hours, and I saw so many people being negative to each other, that I left the group. I'm like, this is not a group I want to be in. Somebody asked for help for something, and somebody stepped in and gave some advice, and then somebody else stepped in and said that basically their advice was not good advice, and they didn't know what they were talking about and stuff like that. So just be aware when you're joining groups that try to stick with the groups that are more on a positive side, and not so much conflict. And there's always a million ways that people do the same thing. If you're looking to do a spell, or some people will call it a spell, some people will call it a prayer, a chant, a meditation, a poem, whatever, again, there's so many different ways that things are done, that, I'm never going to tell anybody this is the wrong way. I might say this is typically how it's done, but I always tell you guys, follow your intuition and follow your gut feeling. If it feels right to you to do it that way, then do it that way. And there's so many people out there that are like, no, this is exactly how it needs to be done. And sorry, but I don't buy into that. So, and I understand there's a lot of people out there that are like, I don't really know what I'm doing, and I really want you to give me a step by step so I have an idea of what I'm supposed to be doing, and that's fine. But I'm not a big believer of this is the only way you can do it, and if you don't do it this way, it's not right. But anyway, join a group or join a sister circle, but just make sure it's a good fit for you. Work with other people who have different kinds of gifts. And I've talked about the fact that I believe all of us have the ability to do all of these things. We just haven't tapped into that. And mostly because somewhere along the line we lost that. Somewhere in history we lost that. And it's kind of got pushed down and told that it wasn't real or it wasn't valid, that we were making things up. And so we just need to tap back into that. But again, it's kind of along the lines of join a sister circle or join a group, Facebook group. Find somebody that, you can work well with, that fits with you, and, kind of go back and forth with conversations. Now, if that's going to be me, that's perfectly fine. If you want to, private message me and bounce things off me, I've told you guys a million times before, I'm open for that. Like, question away. And if I don't know the answers, I will certainly help you find an answer. But, work with other people. So, kind of make a buddy system, I guess. Another thing is grounding. And again, that kind of goes back into that walk in nature. As get outside and take your socks and shoes off and put both feet on the ground, and walk around a little bit, or find a nice place to sit in the grass. Right now our grass is still covered in a lot of snow, so it's going to be a little while before I can get out and ground, but I certainly do. As soon as the grass is coming through and stuff, I am out there with my shoes off, walking around barefoot. Some days, if there's a little patch of grass in the snow that's showing, I'll go out, I'll take my shoes off, I'll stand there, pretty much until my feet are like, okay, I'm cold, I gotta go in. So sometimes it's just a short time, but sometimes it's a little longer. But even if you can find that little patch of grass to just go stand in for a few minutes and then come back in and put your wool socks on, try to get some grounding in. And again, centering, and again, that kind of goes back to the first thing that I was talking about of meditating, to do that centering, that balancing, kind of gathering your energies back, visualizing, letting go, whatever isn't really yours, all of that. So those are all good practices. Visualizing your third eye, your mind's eye opening. So even if it's a weird, like you actually visualize an eyeball here and you visualize it opening, the eye opening, however you want it to be, your third eye is a gland that is inside your head. And so for me, when I visualize my third eye opening, I kind of visualize this goldeny, sunshiny, positive energy, light kind of thing. Starting out as like this little kind of a pebble, you know, and kind of the light is getting bigger and bigger and kind of filling up my head, so to speak. Um, so you can visualize it however you want, however best connects with you, but just practice that of your either lighting up that I think it's like a pituitary gland. Or there's a specific name for the gland, and I am sorry, I don't know what I know what it is, but I can't think of it. And you can visualize it lighting up, or like I said, you can even think of an actual eye on your forehead and the eye slowly opening. So whatever resonates with you. Keep your vibration high. And I did a video years ago, I think, and I will see if I can find it, and if I can, I'll put it in the comments, of different foods that would lower your vibration and foods that would raise your vibration. So even through meditation and visualization and all of those things, your food plays a really big part. And without probably me even saying it, a lot of packaged foods are going to lower it, and a lot of vegetables and fruits and things like that are going to raise it. Some of the biggest things that are going to lower your vibration is alcohol. And so I have pretty much cut out alcohol. If we go out to dinner, I might have a drink, or something like that. If we go to somebody's house for a barbecue or something, I might have one or two, but I really don't drink anymore. And I don't miss it, and I don't feel the need to, really, once I cut it out. I do like a good cold beer in the summer though sometimes. So that around the campfire, but I really don't drink much at all anymore. So again, the next one I wrote was eat high vibrational foods, and like I said, I will see if I can go back and find that video and put the link in this comment. Keep a dream journal. That's a good one too. I don't often remember my dreams, but if I do, I feel like they're pretty important, and I do tend to write them down. And like I've had some really weird dreams, and I don't take the dream at face value. And basically what that means is the dream itself was really not the message. Usually you kind of have to dig into it a little bit. Were there any odd objects in there? Was there any odd smells in there? Was there anything that like didn't really fit? Sometimes there's a person in there that like why was that person in my dream? So you can kind of take note of that. Or you're like, I was at a house that I don't know that house. You can kind of describe the house and things like that. So it's not always the dream itself, because dreams tends to be lots of little pieces that got stuck together and form a really weird storyline. So don't necessarily follow the storyline. Dig into the little pieces part of it and kind of see what's going on there, and see if you can kind of take all the little pieces, and basically you got to unscramble the story and take all the little pieces, and then see if you can kind of make the story go back where it kind of makes a little bit more sense. And then the other one I wrote was connect to source, and whatever that is for you. So whether it's God, or gods or goddesses or deities or Mother Earth, whatever that looks like for you, that's perfectly fine. I'm not here to change your mind on any of that. Just spend some time connecting to whatever whatever you feel, whatever you connect with as source. Some people it's Gaia, even with that, some people it's Gaia, some people it's Pachamama, some people just say Mother Earth, some people say Mother Nature, and I really feel like it's kind of all the same thing. So, but you can practice connecting with whatever you consider source. The other thing that I didn't write down, which I'm really surprised that I didn't write it down earlier, because it was my main source of practice for me, was when I felt like something was coming through for me and I wasn't really sure what was going on. I went to my pendulum. I don't use it nearly as much anymore. I have got much better at just trusting what I'm feeling and working with whatever it is coming through and not second guessing myself. But a lot of times when messages were coming through for me or weird things that were coming through for me, I would go to my pendulum and, ask it, what's coming through? Is this real? Is this a message? Am I just making this up? All kinds of things. And as I practiced more and more, my pendulum was like, no, this is real. This is what's going on and stuff. And it would confirm more and more and more of the stuff that I was picking up was legit. And so, like I said, I was actually thinking about it the other day because I saw the pendulum. I have one on my desk at work. I have one here at this desk. I have one in my pocketbook. That's how much I would, check with it, fact check, I guess, with it. And I was thinking yesterday when I saw the pendulum on my desk, I'm like, I don't remember the last time I picked that up. So, and again, same with this one. I don't really remember the last time I picked this up. But I really do love my pendulums for doing a lot of work. So if you're picking up on something and you're second guessing yourself, pick up a pendulum. And again, pendulums are, you got to kind of find one that fits you. You got to find one that connects with you. The best thing is just ask your pendulum if you'll work with me. So this is back and forth, so that's my yes. So, find a pendulum. And I think I did a video a while back about working with a pendulum. So if I find that one, I'll put that in the comments as well too. But that was a really big thing for me when I was first really working with my intuition and, picking up on different scents and things like that. I would go to my pendulum and be like, am I like losing my mind? Is this real? Is this really happening? Is this a sign? Is this a message? And again, now I don't kind of do that too much because I really trust in what's coming through for me. So I don't use it so much anymore. The other thing is I just thought of as well, because I've talked about this and I didn't write it down either, is sometimes when you get, we've talked about like smells that don't seem to have any source. We've talked about when you're tasting something and you aren't eating anything, and kind of paying attention to what comes to you and different things like that. One of the things I did want to mention is music. Now, I've had messages come to me in music form. So for me, the way it was working was every morning I would get up and I would have a song lyric, like just one line stuck in my head that it just kept going in my head. And I'm like, why is this song just playing in my head? It's not a song I had heard. It's not a song like I didn't like listen to something before I went to bed, or I didn't, it wasn't like I was listening to the radio and then I had the song stuck in my head. This was just a song out of nowhere that just got stuck in my head, and it was just the one line. I couldn't get rid of it. So I wrote it down. And then the next day, I woke up with a different song in my head. And again, just one line, one little part out of the lyrics. and I wrote it down. And this happened like 4 or 5 days in a row. And when I went back and put all the lines together, it was very clearly a message. And at that time, I wasn't really sure what was going on. And again, at that time, I picked up my pendulum and was like, I think I know this is who this is about. Am I supposed to contact this person? Am I supposed to tell them? What am I supposed to do? And I worked with my pendulum, and I did actually end up reaching out to this person. And I was okay doing that because it's somebody who her and I have had conversations about things like this before. So it wasn't like a total, I wasn't reaching out to somebody and they're being like, what the hell are you talking about? Her and I have had conversations before, so it wasn't about this type of stuff, so it wasn't too awful weird for me to reach out to and be like, listen, I'm getting these messages about you. Just want to check in. Where are you at? Are you okay? Things are good. And, so, but sometimes it will just come in really weird, odd ways. So if you've got a song that's just kind of stuck in your head and you can't figure out why, write it down. Again, even if you're just keeping a little notebook with you to write down whatever is coming throughout your day. And you don't have to spend a lot of time with it at that moment. If you can't, you can write it down in your notebook, and then when you get home at night, you can kind of go back to your notebook and, go through it. But if you can spend time with it at that time, again, just, what are your surroundings? Did you touch anything? Did somebody bump into you? Whatever it is that kind of maybe something triggered it for you, and just kind of keep track of it and see what's working for you. And some of you may have a really good handle on that already, and what your gift is, and what triggers it, and maybe something that I just listed off will resonate for you to go ahead and practice a little bit with it. So I hope in some way this video has been helpful for somebody. And, if you're watching this on the replay, again, thumbs up, a like, share, comment, just say hello, and that's going to pretty much wrap it up. And there are most likely a lot of other ways to practice your gifts that I have not gone over. And if you have a different tip, I would love to hear it. If something that's working for you that helps you practice that I didn't mention, I would love to hear it, because I always want to learn new ways to do things as well. So maybe you guys have some wisdom that you can share with me, and of course other people that are watching it will see it as well. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So this is going to wrap up the Clair series, and like I said, there were supposed to be 8 videos, but now there are 9. And so I am going to head off to work for today. It's Friday. It's been very, very, very busy at work, and so it's going to be very, very much looking forward to being home for a couple of days and not being at work. And I hope everybody has a really great weekend, and I hope you have a chance this weekend to maybe practice something that we just talked about. And I will see you guys all Monday morning for our weekly forecast. And we have a couple other events coming up this month as well. I haven't got them in the event section yet, but I will work on them this weekend. We're going to be doing our new moon and our full moon like we have been. So during both those videos, we'll go over some astrology. We'll go over some sort of crafting that you can do. And then I try to fit in some sort of little ritual that you can do. I don't do the ritual with you, but I will give you like tips or ideas or suggestions, whatever, for a ritual you can do on your own. And then we have one of the 8 holidays coming up as well. So I will get all of that information hopefully done this weekend for you, all those events in the event section. And so then you can go ahead and either click interested or going, so that you'll get notifications of posts and when I go live. So other than that, I think I'm done, and I will see you guys Monday. And again, have a really good weekend. Get out and do some sort of practice if you can, of all the things that I just talked about. And yeah, I think that's it. It just seems weird. It's like, I don't know. It feels like there's still something else I'm supposed to say, but I'm not sure what it is. I don't know. If it comes to me, I might have to do another video. But all right, I'll see you guys all on Monday. Have a good weekend. And as always, remember to be kind. Your kindness is not only going to improve your own day, it could improve somebody else's day, and it potentially could change somebody's life for the better. And it doesn't cost us anything. So spread all the kindness you can. Lots of love. Bye, guys.